So have you ever opened up a record in your Dynamics system and it seems to have changed and you're not quite sure how, when or why? Well, in this video I'm going to cover off audit history and why it's important. So I'm going to go straight into the system and show you what I mean by audit history. I'm actually going to do it within the opportunities area. So I'm in the opportunities part of the system. I'm going to select a random opportunity to open. So there's 10 orders or product SKU something. Let's just open that up. That opens up the opportunity record and I can see the core data on that opportunity record. But what I want to go to is this related area. So if I click on that, you can now see I get a drop down of other related record types, one of which is called audit history, which if I click on that, that will open up the audit history. Now, I've only recently enabled audit history on the system, and I'll come on to that because that's quite an important point in a bit. But what you can see here is it's tracking changes. So if I look on here, I've got a change date, so 12th of the 9th, 2025. It was changed, a record was changed by Richard Boardman and me. The event was an update. The field was probability. The old value was 70% and the new value was 60%. So basically what the system's doing is tracking any change to an audit enabled field and putting it into the audit history. So if I go back to the system here and let's say I change the rating from hot to warm, if I now save that and I go to my audit history again, you're going to see that I've just made that update. The rating field has changed from hot to warm. So this is quite powerful. Certainly allows us to have accountability. I mean, if you've got a lot of people potentially changing the same record, to be able to see who changed what and when and what the old value was, that's really, really important information. Secondly, it's important from a data recoverability perspective. You know, data does get accidentally changed. Data does from time to time get maliciously changed. Accidentally changed maybe by an individual, or accidentally changed because maybe we ran a mass update or a workflow changed the data in a way we weren't expecting. So if we've got that audit trail enabled, we can go back and potentially change the data back to where it was originally. Now it's not going to work if we've got hundreds or thousands of changes we might need to restore a backup and use that data to get back to where we were. But for small numbers of record changes, that can be quite a powerful way of getting data back into shape again. The third area around about sort of compliance. So maybe for many systems, particularly if they're handling sensitive data, important data, you know, auditors may want to be able to see that there's an audit trail against a particular record. Finally, that audit trail data can be used for reporting. You know, for example, you can sort of push that out to Power BI and do sort of further analysis on that information. So it's quite an important concept. So we're tracking audit data against a record, but also in the background, and this is very much a administrator view of the system. I'll just show you this in another tab. In the background, globally, we've got an audit tracking capability that's telling us all changes that have been made on all records within the system. And you can see that view. It looks very similar to most of the system views that we have, and we can query it and sort on that. So it's a comprehensive tracking of all data changes. Now, audit history is sort of important capability, but generally it doesn't get turned on by default. So you have to enable your organization generally to track auditing data, and then you need to activate that specifically on your different record types. Most fields within a record type will be auditable once you turn that on, though you can make fields turn that on and off for individual fields as well. It only starts to track from the point you enable it. So this is a feature that often it's sort of a background feature, and it doesn't become useful until there's some concerns about sort of data integrity and what's happened to the data. It's obviously good to plan ahead and make sure you've got that audit trail enabled for all your key data, just in case you need it. Don't get to the position where you suddenly need to understand how a record's changed and realize that your audit trail isn't turned on, hasn't been activated. Now, you need to balance that a little bit in terms of, audit data takes up space and takes up storage in your system. If you've got storage issues, then you might want to limit the amount of data you're tracking. If you haven't got storage issues, then maybe it's a case of the more data the better. Anyway, hopefully that explains audit history. Check out the rest of the channel for other Dynamics 365 for Sales videos. Also, you've got any suggested content ideas and you need any help with Microsoft Dynamics, please see the links below. Anyway, thank you very much for your time today, and hopefully see you again soon.